I never expected a single word, one simple harmless word, to nearly get me executed on a planet where humans were already considered suspicious outsiders. But that's exactly what happened the day Queen Rilessa stormed into the Crystalline courtyard and demanded to know whether I had just confessed love to her daughter, Princess Zelari. And the worst part, I didn't even realize I'd said it. Beginning, arrival on Thryllan. When I first arrived on Thryllan, I was one of only 12 humans working with the Zelari Empire. We were engineers, diplomats, analysts. Nothing fancy, nothing threatening. The Zelari weren't hostile, but they were intense. Taller than humans, luminous veined skin, eyes like shifting nebulae. Every gesture looked rehearsed. Every sentence felt like part of a royal performance. I was assigned to the palace's Starship restoration team, specifically to the Alisari, an ancient vessel that flew using crystalline resonance rather than engines. I had no idea how any of it worked. My job was basically to document what the locals explained. But explanations came from only one person, Princess Zelari. She was nothing like what I expected. Curious, soft-spoken, almost shy. While her mother, Queen Rilessa, was known across the galaxy for her iron will and thunderous authority, Zelari was the opposite. Gentle, fascinated by humans, and oddly, very talkative around me. Every morning she greeted me at the shipyard. Every day she asked questions about Earth. Every afternoon she lingered a bit longer than necessary. And every evening I told myself she was just being polite. Humans weren't supposed to assume anything about Zelari intentions. But something about the way Zelari looked at me, eyes glowing faint lavender, voice dipping softer when she said my name, made my chest do strange things. Still, I kept everything professional. Until the day I forgot to. The word that changed everything. It was during our usual inspection of the Alisari's resonance conduits. Zelari was explaining the way her people sang to the ship to wake it. The sound was beautiful, light, melodic like wind dancing through glass. I was mesmerized, watching her as she demonstrated. At the end of the melody, she looked at me and smiled. "Do you understand now?" she asked. And without thinking, absolutely without thinking, I said, "Yeah, I do, love." The word slipped out the same way it would have back home, a harmless habit from Earth. In my culture it could mean affection, friendliness, or literally nothing romantic at all. But in Zelari tradition, calling someone love was a formal declaration of intent. Zelari froze. Her crystalline pupils widened. Her cheeks, usually a soft silver blue, flushed bright violet. You call me this, human Cade," she whispered. Panic. "Oh no, I mean yes, I mean not like that, I mean..." Too late. A royal guard sprinted out of nowhere. "The Queen has been notified," he declared. I swear my soul left my body. What? Notified of what? I didn't do anything. The guard didn't answer. He simply turned, tapped his wristband, and moments later the palace courtyard filled with hundreds of Zelari, whispering in their musical language. Then the air itself trembled. The Queen was arriving. The confrontation. Queen Rilessa descended from the palace steps like a storm given form. Her armor gleamed with embedded starlight. Her cape flowed behind her as if carried by invisible waves, and her eyes, those dangerous, swirling violet eyes, locked directly on me. "Cade of Terra," she said, her voice echoing unnaturally. "You have spoken a binding word to my daughter." "I swear I didn't mean it that way," I blurted. Her gaze sharpened. "You call the princess love, in the presence of the Alisari and the royal guard. In Zelari custom, such a declaration cannot be withdrawn without consequence." What consequence? I didn't propose to anybody. Around us, The crowd reacted as if I had shouted blasphemy. The Queen raised a hand. Silence fell instantly. "Explain yourself," she said. "Did you speak out of intention, or ignorance?" My heart hammered so loudly that I was sure everyone could hear it. Zelari stood behind her mother, her hands trembling at her sides. She looked as terrified as I felt. I swallowed. "On Earth," I said slowly. "It's just a casual word. I didn't know it meant anything here. I didn't mean disrespect. And I definitely wasn't trying to." I hesitated, unable to finish the sentence. To confess. To declare love. To claim a princess. The Queen stepped closer. "Say the words, human," she commanded. "Speak plainly." I forced a shaky breath. "I wasn't trying to court your daughter." A gasp swept the courtyard. Zelari flinched, and the Queen's eyes narrowed to slits. "Very well," she said. "If you deny intention, then the judgment falls to the princess." "What?" "Middle the princess speaks." The Queen gestured. Zelari stepped forward, trembling visibly. "Daughter," Relessa said, "you heard the human's words. You felt his tone. You know the old laws. His declaration binds unless you reject it." Zelari looked at me. Really looked at me. Her lips parted. She swallowed hard. And then she said something I didn't expect. "I do not reject it." My mouth dropped open. "Zelari, what are you doing?" The Queen spun to her. "You accept his proposal," she thundered. Zelari's voice shook. "Yes." The courtyard exploded with cries. Some gasped. Some cheered. Some shouted in protest. I stood there completely stunned while Zelari continued, stumbling through her words. "He is kind, patient. He listens when I speak. He respects our ways even when he does not understand them. And he looks at me as if I am not just princess, but person." She turned to me, her glowing eyes soft. "You did not mean to declare it, Cade. But I do not wish to reject you." My brain shut off. The Queen exhaled, long and slow, like she was deciding whether to vaporize me or let me breathe. Finally she said, "Human, step forward." My legs obeyed without my permission. She circled me once, examining me like a piece of fragile machinery. "You did not intend the declaration," she said, "yet my daughter accepts it. Therefore you must choose." "Choose what?" I whispered. "The same law binds you. If the princess accepts, you must either honor the bond, or face exile from Thryllan." "Exile? Permanent," she said. "Immediate." My heart felt like it was being crushed. I would lose my job, my team, my research, everything. And Zelari. She was staring at me, hope flickering in her cosmic eyes. I didn't know what to say. I didn't even know what I felt. But I knew one thing. I didn't want to leave. Choice. I took a deep breath. "I don't want exile," I said. Whispers rippled outward again, but now they sounded curious instead of panicked. The Queen's expression didn't change. "Then you accept the bond." I looked at Zelari. She looked terrified and hopeful at the same time. I remembered all the time she'd helped me, the way she'd laugh at my clumsy Zelari pronunciation, the gentle way she asked about Earth customs, her fascination with human stories. I realized I cared for her more deeply than I'd ever admitted to myself. Slowly I nodded. "Yes," I said quietly. "I accept the bond." Zelari exhaled sharply, tears bright in her eyes. The Queen lifted her chin. "The bond is acknowledged." A burst of soft light surrounded us. The Zelari guards struck the ground with their staves. The crowd sang a low, harmonious note. Zelari smiled. Small, trembling, beautiful. I had no idea what I just agreed to. But it felt right. Ending what came after. The Queen dismissed the crowd, then took Zelari and me into a private chamber. No more confusion, she said. You will both understand the bond fully. We sat. Zelari held her breath. The bond does not force marriage, Relessa explained. It merely forges an exclusive courtship. You will spend time together, learn each other's cultures, decide together if the bond becomes permanent. My shoulders loosened in relief. Zelari's did too. But, the Queen added sharply, this bond is serious. If you mistreat her, mislead her, or use her trust against her, the consequence will be severe. Gulp. Understood. Relessa nodded, satisfied. She stood, placing a surprisingly gentle hand on Zelari's shoulder. If this is what you both want, she said, then I will not stand in your way. Zelari beamed. And for the first time since I arrived on Thryllan, the Queen smiled at me too. Only a little. But it counted. The future begins. Zelari walked me back to the shipyard afterward. You truly accept the bond? She asked softly. Yes, I said. Do you? Her cheeks flushed purple again. I accepted long before today. I only needed the courage. I couldn't help smiling. Then I guess one word changed everything. She laughed. Then I am glad you spoke it. We stood by the alisari, its crystal structure shimmering with dormant starlight. Zelari took my hand. Come, she whispered. There is much we must learn of each other. And as I walked with her into the glowing corridors of the palace, I realized, maybe fate really didn't care about intention. Maybe some mistakes were meant to happen. Because a single accidental word had given me something I didn't know I was looking for. A future I was suddenly excited to live.